please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
All right, then let's do a quick check on the Asian markets. Let's see how they're faring. Remember, when we started off the show, most of those markets were holding in the green. So let's see what's going on right now. The Hang Seng should come up for you. The Shanghai market as well. We would be getting rates on both those two markets. For the time being, no worries. All the indices trading with some green. The SGX Nifty, though, is indicating a flattish start to kickstart to trade. But let's get back home then. And the IIP data for April and the CPI data for May is due today. Ekta's with us to run us through what we should be expecting. Hey Ekta, morning.
Hi Nigel, morning. Well, for both the IIP as well as the CPI data, we are expecting hardening on a month-on-month basis. Now, for the IIP data, if it does rise, then obviously that would be a positive. But that is expected to happen. So it is expected to come in at around 5.4% for this month as compared to 4.4% in the previous month. We're talking about April versus March on a month-on-month basis. Now, remember that the core sector data for April was quite strong. It improved to around 4.4%. versus around 4.7% versus 4.4%. And we have other sort of high frequency data points which were positive as well. So the auto sales for the month of April was strong. We also had, the PMI data for the manufacturing index, which was above 51. So that all of those factors are pointing to the fact that it is probably going to be a positive tick when it comes to the IIP data this time round. Now, in terms of the CPI data, however, it is expected to harden on a month-on-month basis. In fact, interestingly, it's expected to come in at around 4.93% versus 4.58% on a month-on-month basis. So that's almost very close to that 5% mark for CPI. And the range for CPI is anywhere between 4.8 to 5% as well. Now, in terms of the CPI data, the food inflation is probably expected to see some amount of a hardening on a month-on-month basis. So it was flat last month. On a month-on-month basis, it was at around 2.8%. So maybe there is a chance that there could be some amount of hardening to around 3% levels. Core inflation would be the key factor to watch out for. And I just want to emphasize that core inflation in the previous month came in at 5.9%. That was one of the key reasons for the RBI moving as well in terms of the core inflation hardening. So this time round, the street is expecting that maybe it could go above 6%. So that would definitely be a big negative when it comes to core. But overall, this is what we can expect for the CPI and the IIP data.
Okay, Ekta, thank you so much for that. We will keep an eye out on all those factors. But moving on now, the Modi government has opened the doors to bureaucracy for the private sector. With advertisements across newspapers, Centre has invited talented and motivated applicants from private sector for 10 jobs at the pay scale of a joint secretary. So who can apply? Well, you have to be over the age of 40 with work experience for a minimum of 15 years. You need to be at least a graduate and can apply from the 15th of June till the 30th of July. Now, the 10 jobs available across 10 government ministries, including revenue, financial services, road transport, shipping, environment, renewable energy, civil aviation, amongst others.
Well, the decision to appoint outside experts without clearing the UPSC has sparked a controversy. The Congress party claims that the move will sabotage the system and people belonging to the RSS and corporates will be influencing the government decisions. We reached out to Amitabh Kant, the CEO of the Niti Aayog. Kant assured us that the government will undertake a proper selection process and will also set up a committee to vet the candidates.
We have about 450 plus joint secretaries in Government of India. We We're talking about just 10 joint secretaries coming in from outside. There's a lot of disruption taking place across the world. A wide range of new things are happening. Look at artificial intelligence, look at blockchain, look at a vast number of things that are happening. I mean, we need to bring in...
The CEO of the Niti Aayog, Kant, assured us that the government will undertake a proper selection process and will also set up a committee to vet the candidates.
We have about 450 plus joint secretaries in Government of India. We're talking about just 10 joint secretaries coming in from outside. There's a lot of disruption taking place across the world. A wide range of new things are happening. Look at artificial intelligence, look at blockchain, look at a vast number of things that are happening. I mean, we need to bring in a lot of fresh thinking into the government. And, you know, this is nothing new. It's been happening for a long time. Many people don't sit for the UPSC, but there are a whole lot of brilliant people outside. We must give opportunity to some of these bright and brilliant people to work with the government, to transform the government. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good for the country.
Okay, on that note, let's slip into a quick break. Up next, we'll get you a check on the cues to watch in the futures and options space. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, you're watching Power Breakfast on CNBC TV18. Well, let's straight get along and go to Mangalam Malu, who's joining us to tell us how the cues are stacked from the F&O space. Mangalam, good morning. Nigel was telling us how the FIIs were a tad bit bearish in the cash market, but they were bullish in the derivatives market.
Absolutely, Anisha. They were bullish in the derivatives market. But before that, you know, I heard you in the morning. You said you are batting for peace as far as the Donald Trump and Kim Jong meeting is concerned, and which is why you're wearing white. So I went ahead and wore black because I was batting for the after party between Donald Trump and Kim Jong Un after all the formal talks are over. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Sources tell me that Sentosa is a great party spot. So we'll watch out for that. But yes, the FIIs indeed are bullish in the index future space. Yesterday, bought about 500 crores out there, and they added close to 3 longs per short contract that they added in index futures, close to around 9,400 longs. That compares with around 3,500, 3,600 short contracts that they've added in index futures. But remember, they're still net short to the tune of 57% in index futures. Any up move, we may see some further short covering, or some down move. We have to watch out for some follow through out there. In index options, there is where we saw some bullish trends come by. While there was purchase on both sides, the long puts as well as long calls, there were more calls added than puts, and more importantly, the FIs wrote more puts than calls, because if you take a look at it, they covered about 3,000 short calls as well as added close to 10,000 short puts. And when that happens, the smart money believes that maybe the base is intact and protected for our markets. And also when that happens, remember, the mid caps tend to usually outperform, so we'll watch out for that. So what were the strikes which were active? 10,800 put, that one saw a fair amount of writing, as did the 10,700 put. We saw some short covering in the 10,700 as well as the 11,000 call. Those things we will watch out for. In terms of stocks, bears, so fresh longs added out there along with Chennai Petro, but no takers for Container Corp. Fresh shorts added on that counter.
All right, Mangalam, you were telling me a data point yesterday. How many haircuts, hairstyles are approved in North Korea?
27.
27, all right. Okay, thanks so much, Mangalam, for joining in and giving us those details. We'll wrap up on Power Breakfast. As we do that, we leave you with the picks of our bullseye contestants for day 2 of the week. Pazar morning call comes up next.
First call is a buy call on Vocard for target of 734, stop loss 668. Second buy would be on UVL for target of 1340, stop loss 1232. Third buy call would be on MGL for target of 914, stop loss 825. And final call would be a buy call on VIP for a target of 474, stop loss 414.
My first call is a sell call on Tata Chemical. The stock's closing price was 733 rupees. It could be sold for a target of 720, and a stop loss of 742 should be kept on the stock. My second call is a buy call on Hindustan Zinc. The stock closed at 302 rupees yesterday. It could be bought for a target of 308, and a stop loss of 296 should be kept on the stock. My third call would be a buy call again on East India Hotels. The stock closed at 177 rupees yesterday. It could be bought for a target of 182, and a stop loss of 172 should be strictly kept on the stock. My final call would be again a buy call on Tata Coffee. The stock closed at 123 rupees yesterday. It could be bought for a target of 128, and a stop loss of 117 should be strictly kept on the stock.
My first pick is Balaji Tele. I buy it with a day target of 140 and a stop loss of 120. Second, GMDC. I buy it with a day target of 125 and a stop loss of 112. Third, TV18. I buy it with a day target of 63 and a stop loss of 52. Fourth, CG Consumer. I buy it with a day target of 250 and a stop loss of 225.